transits, these rotational planets. Around these parts we got high standards. Seeking the truth, wisdom at once. We're coming from the stars above. This is Moonday Tarot, the one and only Kelly Rokana. I hope you're ready for some giggles. And of course, we hope you got some wiggles. Strap in and get ready for some cosmic wisdom of ancestral understandings. Moonday Tarot. Bitch, it's Moonday.
That's right. It's Monday. How you guys doing? Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Pulling up the chart of the moment. Let's change my banner here. Oops. Let me know if you guys can hear me all right. Shout out to Homie Romy of the from Rising from the Ashes. Homie Romy's made me a couple of songs, and yes, I did always have a theme song. Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you, Chance. You're the best. All right, what's up? Happy Monday. Gonna be a fun week. We have a lot to talk about. There's the first eclipse of the year, the first solar eclipse in the last degree of Aries. We'll talk about that and all of the fun goodness that comes with solar eclipses. Also, Mercury retrograde is this week, so we'll be talking about that as well. Mercury is going into Gatorade, guys. Hold on for dear life. Current moment. Yeah. It's not that bad. I think it's actually an exciting Mercury retrograde. So we'll talk about that. Those are the two biggest things happening this week. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, I guess before we get started, my name's Kaylee. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, hey, how you doing? Good to see you. Welcome back to everybody that is not new here. I have a pretty awesome community that just blaming a god. You can't blame God's Chance. Come on. I have a pretty awesome community. You guys are my favorite people ever. Thank you for hanging out. And yeah, if you're new here, make sure you hit subscribe. I am on a quest. I'm on a quest to get to 1,000 subscribers so that I can play with some of the other features on YouTube. And yeah, just get my name out there. So make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Leave me a comment. That assists me in gaming the algorithm. And by gaming the algorithm, I mean just, getting seen. Until the end of the month, so until the last day of April, I have a special going on for natal chart readings. If you use the code Eclipse in all caps, Eclipse 20, you get 20% off of a natal chart reading with me, and we can focus on the eclipse if you want, or we can just go through your natal chart. Really, that hour is up to you. We can do whatever you want with it. Also, shout out to Kimberly. I just came from a reading with Kimberly. You're a badass. Appreciate you, sister. Good to see you. Anything else going on? I think that's it. So let's jump in. Did I always have a theme song? Yeah. I've got a couple. I love that. That's a fun question. All right. So let's see here. So this is the chart of right now for where I'm at. So of course, I'm streaming from Calgary, Alberta, and right now the sun has just culminated on the MC, so that's kind of cool. Nice time to start with a Leo rising. Nice, that's badass. Hell yeah, let's get started. I can feel that energy. It's like, nope. No preamble. Let's just go. All right, okay, Aries, calm down. So, this week is the week of the eclipse. First eclipse of the year. I'm going to jump right to that because I know it's a big topic, eclipses. Now, a couple things A couple things to note. An eclipse can only be on a new or a full moon. So essentially, it is a new or a full moon on crack. Uh, Now, we have a minimum of 4 eclipses a year, 2 solar, 2 lunar. Sometimes we have 5 in a calendar year. Sometimes we have as many as 6 in a calendar year, but that's pretty much the max. How we measure eclipses and how potent or how powerful that eclipse is how close the new or full moon is to the nodes of the moon. So the nodes, real quick, is the it's a mathematically calculated point. That's this funny looking thing here. That's the north node. There's the south node. It's a mathematically calculated point of where the moon's path intersects with the ecliptic, which is the sun's path. We have new and full moons all of the time. They're not always eclipses. They're only eclipses when the moon is close enough to that intersection point so that the shadow that we fall into the shadow of the moon or the moon is covered by the shadow of Earth. Yeah. What's up? What's up, RMA? Yeah, I love that. It's really cool. I love that we're able to see the moon during the day while it's approaching its new moon phase. It's really cool. It's kind of magical. I think it's you don't. It's weird because we don't expect to see the moon during the day, and then when we do, it's like wow. I don't know. It's like it's extra special. But yeah. So let's talk about this. All right. So Wednesday. All right. North America will not see this eclipse. It's not going to be visible for North America. That doesn't mean that the eclipse isn't going to affect you. And in fact, if you have any planets or points on the 29th degree of the cardinal signs, so the cardinal signs is Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. If you have anything on the 29th degree or within 5 degrees of that, you're more likely to be affected by this eclipse. Now, it is said that they are much more potent in the countries where the shadow of the eclipse actually occurs. And I'll show you guys that. I've got a really cool website queued up that I like to look at that shows us with pretty darn accurate predictions where the shadow of the eclipse is actually going to fall. So anyway, it is happening at 2200 o'clock. So that's 12 p.m. Mountain Time. So again, sun's definitely going to be set for North America. We're not going to see it, but still going to happen. So actually the website, I'll show you guys that now. The website that I really like looking at for this is called Moonblink. You can see that up here, moonblink.info. Let's get out of my history there. So moonblink.info. Super cool website. It pulls up all things eclipses, and if you click on the entry for this eclipse, which is happening the 20th of March, or sorry, the 20th of April, my bad, they have this neat little interactive map that shows you where the shadow of the eclipse is going to occur. So if you live in Australia and Indonesia and parts of Asia, you'll be able to see partial eclipse. The path of totality is only going to really touch like the very edge of Australia up here. And I know this is kind of small for you guys. Let me zoom in a little bit. So yeah, and these guys right here, they'll be right underneath the shadow of this eclipse. So they'll be most affected. So I think it'll be really cool just to kind of watch the news over the next few weeks to see if anything really major happens in this area of the world. So anyway, that's path of totality. Hello, G. I'm assuming it's G. Kind of cool on this website. Also, it can show you the Saros series that the moon cycle belongs to, and a bunch of different like info about it. So anyway, Saros series is each eclipse belongs to a family, and they call this family the Saros series. Really fascinating. So I've actually seen a couple places they call it a hybrid solar eclipse, and I have to apologize. Melanie asked me about this a couple weeks ago, like, "Hey, do you have any of the goods about this so-called hybrid eclipse?" And I actually answered incorrectly. I didn't actually know what they were talking about with hybrid. I thought I knew. I thought that they were talking about. I thought they were talking about um, how the sun and the moon are in one sign and the node is in another, but that's actually incorrect. A hybrid solar eclipse apparently is where it looks like it is not total to begin with, and then during part of its journey, it becomes like a total solar eclipse, and then goes back into like partiality. So kind of interesting. Um, Apparently, this is a much more rare eclipse for it to uh, not look total and then suddenly become total and then not again. I don't know. This is the first time that I've actually heard that term used for eclipses, so I'm kind of just letting you guys know what I just read about a few hours ago. So anyway, I definitely need to do some more research on that, but kind of interesting. Da, da, da. Oh, I must always answer correctly. Thanks, PK. Oh God. Ugh. Yeah, I'll get on that. Okay, so anyway, eclipse. Last degree of Aries. 29 degrees, 50 minutes of Aries is where this bad boy is going down. So kind of neat. As soon as the eclipse happens, moon rolls over into Taurus, and then within a few hours, sun moves into Taurus as well. So it's super cuspy. I get the feeling, especially with this being in a sign that is often associated with launching things and beginning things and starting things. Right? It's a cardinal sign of fire, cardinal fire, Aries. It's beginning something. It's also the first eclipse that we're experiencing on this Aries Libra axis. So we're definitely beginning a new cycle of something, but at the same time, it's in the final degree, so we're ending something. So I think of a practice actually that my teacher, Gemini Brett, had us do. One of our first practices that we were encouraged to do was take a compass and draw 108 circles with this compass. And they cannot intersect. They have to be their own circles. And we were asked to contemplate what it means to be a circle. What is a circle? Literally, this is one of our first practices. And I'm really glad that we did that, because one of the questions was, where does a circle begin and where does it end? And in one sense, it doesn't begin or end anywhere. But at the same time, it does begin at a certain point. So the question is, does it expand in all directions at the same time, or was it always there? Is the end the beginning? Is the beginning the end? Is there an end? Is there a beginning? So this is what I was thinking about this morning, while contemplating what the hell to tell you guys. There's something beginning with this eclipse, and there's something ending with this eclipse. It's almost like the end of an important cycle so that we can begin anew again. What did the triangle say to the circle? That's a great question. I don't know. Oh God, I hate that song, but yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was a really cool practice. There was lots of stuff that we did with sacred geometry, and that was just the first one, contemplating oneness and the meaning of one. Um, Definitely an interesting meditative practice for sure. So anyway, something's ending, something's beginning. And specifically for you, how this plays out individually, well, that will depend on where Aries falls in your individual map, right? So there's lots about this that we can say on a global scale. Um, Aries tends to be, excuse me, pardon me, Aries tends to be a fairly dramatic sign. It's fire, right? They always want to start shit. They always want to start shit. Um, which definitely that could be fun. Fire in general tends to be fairly spontaneous. Now, a really important um interpretation or thing that we have to take into account while we're interpreting this is where is Mars? Where is Mars? Because Mars rules Aries. But also, what else is going on in the sign? Okay, so let's start with Jupiter. Before we jump to Mars, I can feel Mars be like, no, talk about me, but hold on, motherfucker. We're not done talking about Aries. So, final degree of Aries. This in traditional astrology is called an anaretic degree, and it is associated with difficulties, great difficulties. And I like to associate it or think about it in terms of, okay, you're about to level up, but before you level up, you have to complete a boss battle. This is the boss battle. No pressure. No pressure. This is the boss battle. How dare you? The Aries pipes up. How dare you? Um, RMA, you still have a house that is ruled by Aries, right? Oh my god. That's good. I like that. That's funny. Yeah. How dare you call Aries dramatic? Uh-huh. Okay, chance. Sure. So final degree, anaretic degree. It is traditionally associated with struggle, some kind of test, some kind of initiation, right? So that is an important point about this energy. You're about to level up and change uh, something, right? This is definitely the kind of eclipse that brings about major changes. It's in a cardinal sign, it's in the last degree, and it's squaring freaking Pluto. We'll get there. Oh, we'll get there, but first things first. Now, Sun and Moon have both just had a conversation with Jupiter. Jupiter is still considered to be under the beams. He's still invisible. You can't see him in the morning sky yet. He's only 4 degrees away, right? So he's still going through his renewal process. But Jupiter has still infused both the sun and the moon with his qualities, right? And that is healing and expansiveness and philosophy. Uh, in the sign of Aries, this is confidence, right? Being self confident, having confidence in your abilities to build and do and act, right? Yeah, RMA. So you could look to see what house cusp falls in Aries, right? Or just listen to me talking about your rising sign, as I will definitely get to doing that, talking about each rising sign and what house Aries rules, because that will help you kind of narrow it down. Okay. So, anyways, we've been infused with this self confidence attitude of Jupiter in Aries, right? Definitely, it's definitely potent. It is also said in traditional astrology that when a benefic, i.e., Jupiter or Venus, is involved in an eclipse, it helps to negate some of the more negative effects of an eclipse. This is kind of interesting. I'm really curious. This is one of those kinds of statements that I've heard said before, I've read before, but I want to test it and watch it play out myself. So, I'm telling you guys so that you guys can also watch and test it with me. Does Jupiter being involved in the eclipse actually help it be more beneficial? Let's find out. Let's find out together. And because of that, I'm asking you guys actually to let me know how this actually plays out for you. Um, it's really interesting with eclipses in general is we tend to have some kind of crisis occur, and then immediately following that crisis, sometimes a month, 2 months, 3 months later, um, something something happens where we are reoriented on our path towards where we're supposed to be going anyway. That's the kind of energy and the thing that happens with eclipses. Okay, so Jupiter is involved. Really interesting. Mars is in Cancer. Now, Mars is considered to be fallen, quote unquote, fallen in Cancer. Mars is exalted in Capricorn, is considered fallen in Cancer. Basically, what this is saying is the tools or the area that it plays out in is more likely to be, I mean, yes, the eclipse is in your Aries house, but it's also being going to play out and have ties to whatever house Cancer rules as well because Mars is there. Now, Mars in Cancer is a fairly moody energy, not gonna lie. I'm sure most of you have been feeling this. If Mars has to do with the actions that we take, our assertive nature or aggressive nature, our protective nature, our ability to separate or cut away, and our ability to build and construct. In Cancer, Cancer has a lot to do with emotions, obviously. It's ruled by the moon. But has a lot to do with like our ability to feel safe and nurtured, our ability to nurture, and like I said, emotions. So Mars being in Cancer can be for a lot of people a little bit, a little bit more moody. There's this saying actually that we have when you're in a bad mood, you're crabby. Mars in Cancer's a little bit crabby. Can definitely be, of course. Um, so, but at the same time, there's lots of positives with this as well, right? Like this is the kind of a position that really inspires people to want to defend and fight for their family, right? Or their homeland. Cancer is sometimes associated with a person's homeland. Um, Also, Cancer family can play out in lots of different ways, all right? So for some people, especially people that have grown up in a toxic family environment, their real family is not necessarily who they call family. You know what I mean? Sometimes there's a team or a group or a some other I don't know, I guess group is the right word. Some other group that becomes your family. That can be symbolized by Cancer as well, especially if they're literally a team. Like I think of Mars and Cancer as like sports teams. Everybody's wearing the same jersey and they're battling something together and they've got this shared goal, this shared conquest that they're on. Anyway, it's kind of funny. So it's like this kind of an eclipse is going to really make you consider or ask you to consider rather who's on your team, right? Who's wearing the same jersey as you? And that can quite literally be literally a sports jersey, but I know most of you here, some of you are probably into sports, but not all of you. It doesn't have to apply exactly like that. Think of it as a metaphor. So that's kind of fun. Oh, PK, I talked about that a little bit. It tends, so there's a couple ways to look at it. I think that as far as like geopolitics go, we're probably going to see it play out where the eclipse shadow is going to be, which is closer to Australia. And yeah, so geopolitically, we're more likely to see stuff go down over there. But it will still affect you personally, especially if you have planets that are being aspected heavily by it. So it's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of both. And I'm really curious to actually watch the news and see exactly how it plays out. So we will investigate together. Alrighty. So there's that. Interesting play there. Very interesting play there. Okay, so next thing that we got to talk about is this is of course squaring Pluto. As soon as this eclipse happens, Moon rolls over into Taurus and squares Pluto, and then I mean they're already in a square. They're less than a degree away from a square. And as soon as the Sun moves into Taurus, a few hours later, it's in an exact square. So what is Pluto? Well, Pluto is death and rebirth. It is composting things. And of course, Pluto has just moved into tropical Aquarius, so we are seeing these themes play out with technology. Aquarius is often associated with innovation and change, but also revolution, right? Huge changes in the structures of society. Uh, yep. Fun times. Oh, that it's all good, dude. It's all good. Yeah, right? Exactly. So let's kind of let's hope for the best, right? Let's hope for the best, pray for the best, and see, see how things go. So if we have an eclipse in a super Martian sign of Aries, and it's squaring a planet that has to do with death and rebirth and power and control and all of that fun stuff, in a sign that has to do with technology and innovation, right? Where it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. How this eclipse plays out is going to flavor and show us a lot about what this 20-year Pluto through Aquarius transit is going to bring for us, right? So, I mean, some obvious themes that we've been seeing. Well, New York, for example, just unveiled last week that they've added a robot to their staff, I guess, if you can consider a robot staff. So that's a thing. That's very much, very much taking into account these two signs, definitely. So the innovation of technology, how things play out with resources as well, since the North Node is in Taurus. These will be rolling over into Taurus as soon as the eclipse occurs. Innovations in how we deal with money and how banks deal with our resources, definitely going to be a big thing to look at and take into consideration. I literally just saw this morning that the American SEC, the Securities whatever Commission, whatever the fuck that acronym is, they just went after a big crypto. What's it? Not bit something. They just went after a crypto exchange for illegally trading securities. So clamping down and trying to change and control how we use certain technologies is we're going to see a lot more of that. But now keep in mind, this Aries energy it's about fighting. Let's be honest, it's about meanness, selfness, but also it's ruled by Mars, so we are talking about assertiveness. Um, so in an aspect to a planet that is just ingressed into a sign that's all about revolution. Revolution and regeneration through revolution. So there's good possibility that this is going to be some spicy astrology. This is pretty spicy. We can use this energy to help us change and evolve, of course, and that's how I would like to focus on this. Is really how can we use this for our own personal evolution. Yeah, fun stuff. So let's talk about the decan. So what is a decan, first of all? Each 10 degree of a sign, so the first 10 degrees, second 10 degrees, and third 10 degrees are called a decan, right? Deci meaning 10, 10 degrees, 10-degree section is a decan. So first, second, third. And the third decan, this decan is ruled by Venus, actually. It's kind of cool, actually. I will bring up the card that's associated with it. I didn't prepare a slide for you guys. I should have, but let me just pull up the card anyway. Nice. It was quick to access. Hell yeah, we can alchemize this. I believe in us. So the decan associated with this is ruled by Venus and is associated with the Four of Wands. So that's fun. The Four of Wands is a really beautiful card, right? It's talking about some kind of celebration. It is ruled by Venus, so it's about beauty, and I wouldn't necessarily associate Venus with love specifically, but this card, yeah. With this whole Aries archetype, this whole Aries story, it's about individuating away from a collective, becoming your own individual. And the first two decans of Aries talk a lot about that. The first one is literally symbolized by um, in some sources, the first decan is symbolized by like an axe and somebody wielding an axe because it's a very brutal, like we're cutting away from the collective, we're cutting away from this connectivity to go on our own path. Uh, so that's a thing. Second decan of Aries is ruled by the sun, and it's like, okay, now we're really stepping into our own individuality and we're shining and developing our own solar sense of self. And then the third decan, this one ruled by Venus with the Four of Wands, it's like, all right, now we've kind of like, we've become our own individual. Now let's make it beautiful. Now let's make it nice. Now let's harmonize it a little bit and bring in this Venusian energy. It's really, it's kind of interesting like that. Um, it's much more refined Aryan energy and archetype rather than the first two, where they're a little bit more brutal and a little bit more like, no, fuck you. This is me. What you gonna do about that? Whereas we get to this third deck and it's like, okay, I've gotten over the initial need to be like, get out of my face, which is very Aryan, and now we're in, okay, we can start to bring other people back in now. Uh, and with this being the Four of Wands deck, and it's like, this is another reason why I kind of bring in that like endings and beginnings thing, because literally with this card we have pictured a celebration. It's a marriage that's happening on this card, a bringing together of two families, or two families, two energies. So they're starting a new cycle together with the symbolism in the card, but it's a little bit more, it's always a little bit more complex than that. Okay, so let me just bring this back up. So depending on your rising sign, where this eclipse happens, is going to, it'll change the interpretation a little bit. So I encourage you to listen for your rising sign. If you don't know what time you were born and you don't know your rising sign, you can listen to this from your sun. But I really encourage you guys to try to dig out a rising time to figure out your rising sign, or rising time. Oh my gosh, a birth time to find your rising sign, because that literally has to do with your spiritual incarnation into the physical realm. That's what your rising sign represents. Okay. So anyway, what day does Mercury turn retrograde? Let's go back to that for a quick second here. I'm actually just going to pull this up. Hello. Ow, it's all good. You're not that late. What's up? I just finished talking about the eclipse in general terms. And I'm about to just talk about the Mercury retrograde cycle. And then I'll get into the signs. So I haven't started any signs yet. You're good. You're good. Now, hold on a moment here. Just let me load this real quick. All right, so eclipse happens. Mercury turns retrograde like immediately. Okay, sorry. All right. So this is one of the reasons why I love this website, AstroSeek, astro-seek.com. They have so many really cool tools. One of the tools they have is to pull up when planets turn retrograde and when the retrograde ends. This is a fantastic tool. It's one of my favorites. So we can see right here, Mercury retrograde table, boom, boom, boom. The retrograde begins April 21st. Again, this is times and dates for North America. So April 21st turns retrograde at 15 degrees, 37 minutes of Taurus, and it will be retrograde until the 14th of May. Mercury is typically retrograde for about 3 weeks, and is always in one element. And then there is a changeover, and then the next year it's in a different element. It's kind of cool, actually, how that works. Yeah, 420 in so many ways. Yep. Hey, JLo, you made it. We're just talking about Mercury right now. So if you have any planets in between 15 degrees of Taurus and it goes back to 5 degrees, so this 10-degree section of Taurus in between 5 and 15 degrees, if you have any planets in here, the Mercury retrograde is going to affect you a little bit more. If you have planets in between there in Scorpio as well, in between 5 and 15, Mercury retrograde is going to affect you a little bit more. But this is really important. This is a very important retrograde cycle. Let me just move this forward to when it actually turns retrograde. Time did it say? I don't have the time on there. That's okay. Just a few hours. So anyway, why is this important? Why is this Mercury retrograde important? Well, when it turns retrograde, Mercury will be right next to Uranus, okay? And then it will go back over all of these degrees where we had the Uranus-Rahu conjunction, where we had eclipses all the last year. It's kind of a big deal. And then as soon as Mercury turns direct, Jupiter is ingressing into Taurus as well. So it's like Mercury is helping us reorganize and reorient ourselves in regards to this house specifically. Whatever Taurus rules in your chart, it's helping us get our shit together to get ready for Big Daddy Jupiter, Big Scholar Daddy Jupiter to ingress into Taurus. All right, so this is an important retrograde cycle. I would say every retrograde cycle is important, but this one in particular is a big deal. So we're literally getting this house ready for our new guest, Jupiter. Scholar Daddy Jupiter. All right, who else just walked in? All right, cool. JLo's here. All right, so big deal, important. All of this year, really, we're dealing with Mercury reorienting the element of Earth for us. The Earth element has a lot to do with sensuality, 3D physical reality, has a lot to do with resources. It has a lot to do with our body, really, our body. And that has been a major message, like, Scholar Daddy Jupiter about to blow up your 10th. Yes! Yes! So Mercury retrogrades are about 3 weeks in length. So it's about 3 weeks. Now, I have been debating and trying to test out whether or not this whole shadow thing is a real thing or not. This whole shadow period of Mercury going retrograde. So if we include the shadow period on top of the 3-week retrograde cycle, it's like half of your fucking life is dealing with retrograde energy. And I don't know. I'm still testing it out. And I think that there are other explanations about why you could have tech and miscommunication issues regarding Mercury other than just it being the shadow period. So that's one of the problems with astrology is it's really hard to get a clean experiment with anything because there's so many things, so many factors and variables all of the time. It's frustrating as hell. Yeah. But anyway, oh, how okay, so there's yeah. On this chart, it will turn red when it's retrograde. Does it turn red when it's retrograde? Now I gotta see. I forget if this program does that or not. So, some programs they'll turn red if when they're retrograde. Some programs will just put an R or an RX. We'll see together because I forget literally. How long does the eclipse affect? The eclipse. There's different ideas about how to measure that. Some sources say that the length of the actual eclipse can be translated into weeks or months, and that is the length of time that it will affect the world, essentially. I've also heard other people say just until the next eclipse or for 6 months. I've heard different things. So in general, I like to say that it's like at least 3 months, up to 6 months, at least. So this one in particular, I believe it says on this cool fucking website, the sun will be darkened for 1 minute and 16 seconds by a dramatic hybrid eclipse covering a narrow path at most 49 kilometers wide. This will be a sight worth seeing and will be visible in extreme northwest Australia, East Timor, and Indonesia. The partial eclipse will be visible across Australia and Southeast Asia. So 1 minute, 16 seconds, the sun is being darkened. So depending on the source, that changes how long it's in effect for. So because I don't have a clear answer for you, I can't answer that with a solid answer. I'm sorry. Uh, but yeah, I like to say at least 3 to 6 months. So yeah, absolutely. Transformation, expansion. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, and that's the other thing, RMA. I think that's a really good person. She says, I've never been a tech person, so it's hard to say what is Mercury retrograde and what is just me. I think it's important to not blame a god or a planet for your own stuff. So I love that you said that actually, because, some people, just based on their own chart, they're going to have more technological issues than other people. Also, on an individual level, you have a third house, which deals with communication, and a third house ruler, which deals with communication. So it's not always just Mercury that you have to look at. You have to look at your third house and your third house ruler and what's going on with that. So it's a good time. Alrighty. Okay. Going back to my investigation here. Does Mercury turn red? No, okay, it doesn't turn red on this chart. It just has the little R beside it. Yeah, I get confused because astral gold, it does turn red. Um, and there's other ones. There's other programs where it turns red, but this one it does not. It just gives me a little R. So thank you for asking that, PK, because I forgot. Okay. Cat gets it. Cat gets it. Thank you, Cat. Appreciate you. Yeah. Yeah. I try not to give away my power involuntarily. Okay, that's why I say these things. I'm like, don't blame the gods. Did you not fix your phone before Mercury retrograde? Well, it's your fault. It's broken now. Okay, don't blame Mercury. All right. Okay, so anyway, bringing this back up. Always transforming and expanding. Yeah, and it's none of it happens in a linear fashion. All right, so Mercury turns retrograde, 15 degrees and change. It's gonna go back to 5 degrees, turn around, come back this way again. The Taurus area of your chart, whatever house Taurus rules, that's where Mercury is going to be getting you to review, right? That area of life is where you're going to be reviewing things. So I'll definitely go through that for each of the rising signs as well. And this will be important, right? This house has gone through a lot of changes. We've had eclipses on this axis. We've had the Uranus, North Node, Mars conjunction on this axis. Like there's been a lot of activity here, and we're getting ready now for these seeds that we've planted, for these changes that we've made. We're getting ready to expand on them when Jupiter moves into this house, which will be mid-May, the 14th. So lots of stuff going on. We'll talk about that for each sign. Hey, what's up, Ariel? Love you, girl. See you in a bit. What you talking about, girl? Which theory? I just gave you a few theories. uh, I love sitting with JLo for sessions. She's so fun. Oh man. Alrighty. So let's just take this back to the eclipse chart. And then we will go through the signs together. Oh, that's pretty close. Just messing around with the hours though, so it's a bit off. Oh, that's so funny. I just realized something. This is 20th of April, but that's UTC time. So my apologies if that was confusing. It's, it's technically on the 19th. For me anyway, in my time zone. Okay, there it is. Alrighty. Oh, the phone one. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Right? Alrighty. So, solar eclipse. A bunch of shit we just talked about. And as always, like there's more layers that we can get into, but I do not have the time to do that, so we're gonna roll with it. Okay. Any more questions before I start pulling for the signs? Now would be the time to ask. So just putting this on Pisces, and then we will get rolling. Of course, if you want a personal reading or a private reading, if you want a personal reading, you'd like me to pull a card for you personally, instructions are on the ticker below and also in the description box. I will do that at the end after I go through all the signs. Please keep in mind also, actually, let me make a banner for you. If you want to book with me to talk about the eclipse or anything else, it doesn't have to be about the eclipse, but it can be. I have a special going until the end of the month. Use the code Eclipse20 on my website for 20% off of a natal chart or a tarot reading. I could do either. PK, will you test this out for us the next time we have an eclipse that comes over the states? That'd be great. Thank you. I need some hard data. uh, yeah, it would. Yeah, that'd be fun. I like experiments. Okay, Pisces. That's good. Mm. Okay, there we go. So Pisces. So for you guys, this eclipse is happening in the second house. Pisces is the first house, Aries is your second house. So very last degree of your second house. That's fun. So a second house eclipse, but playing out with fifth house flavors as well. Alrighty. So with the second house, we're talking about your resources, your finances. We are talking about your resources and your finances. Let's stick with that for now. So Jupiter moving through your second house has definitely had you focused on this area quite a bit lately, since Jupiter rules your first house. Jupiter rules you, it's your chart ruler. So you could say that there has been both an increase in what you have been making, and also quite likely you've been spending more money too. And this eclipse is really going to be just asking you and beginning this process of change with this axis, this second eighth house axis. The second eighth house axis of like, okay, am I in alignment with my own values, especially with how I'm spending my money and using my resources? Am I in alignment with my own values? Or am I catering to another person's values? Do I need to rebalance this area of life? Probably. That's why, eclipses give us an opportunity to do exactly that. One thing that you might see play out is the question of, do I spend too much or not enough on my pleasures? So fifth house has a lot to do with joy, fun, pleasure, romance, that kind of stuff. Games, risk. I would not recommend buying lottery tickets. I wouldn't recommend that. Yeah, Jupiter's in the second house, which kind of brings this lucky energy, but I wouldn't say the same about Mars in the fifth, right? So just be wise. Just be wise about what you do. Um, this is going to bring about some. All right, well, Pluto moving through your 12th house is much more difficult to even talk about. Um, because this is a generational influence, and we're talking about a nebulous, spiritual, unseen, hidden place house, this is a very subtle influence. It can be bringing up some major psychological fears, right? Some major anxieties. Now, these are things that are not the end of the world, but it is important to address them as they come up. And it could very well be that you're having, some really very real survival fears of like, oh, how am I going to even make it through financially right now? Uh, you could actually be cutting back on and maybe even cutting back on some of the fun things that you like to do because this is such a major area that's going through a lot of changes right now, right? How you can use this positively, Pisces, is maybe perhaps on the eclipse date. Again, if you live in North America, it's going to be happening at night. Uh, But if you're in Australia, it's during the day, so that's kind of cool. You guys can take advantage of that energy during the day. But anyway, regardless, that energy is potent for the whole day, so you might as well use it. Um, what you could potentially do if you really want to work with this is, well, eclipses give us the opportunity to clear stuff out. So when it comes to some of the things that you own, some of your possessions, some of the stuff around you, on a day-to-day basis, and even maybe some of the food that you eat, perhaps it could be a good time to clear some things out to make space for something new, right? There's this huge theme of endings and beginnings and endings. So use that energy, with it being the 29th degree of Aries, to clear out some stuff so that you can make space for something beautiful to come in. This decan is ruled by Venus, and this is actually, with Jupiter here, it's actually really nice. There's the potential for this to be really beautiful. Um, but it's kind of like an energy that we have to work with consciously in order to do that. So clear something out, especially if you have a deep psychological thing weighing on you right now. Use that to help you compost, basically. That's badass. Thanks, gents. You guys, oh my god. Uh, you're fired. All of you are fired. Oh my gosh. I always I want to study the charts of people that win the lotto. I don't know if it's legit or fixed. I have no idea. Um but that's where my mind goes. I'm like, I want to study those charts. What was going on when they won? All right, so Pisces, what do we got for you for cards? Let's see. What will this eclipse bring for you, Pisces? Word. Thanks, Chaos. Mm. Hermit came out reversed. I take a bit of extra time to make sure that all of my cards are upright before I start shuffling. The fact that the Hermit came out reversed is very significant. Pisces, you need to be taking care of your body right now, connecting with your body, connecting with your physical body. Um, this has been a major message for a lot of people lately. Uh, I don't know if that's because it's a major message for me or if it's literally just in the etheric fucking fields right now. But Pisces, regardless of what's going on around you, okay, regardless of what's going on in the sky with the astrology, with anything, at the end of the day, um, how you take care of yourself reflects a lot to do with how much you value yourself, what your self-worth is, right? Um, and Hermit coming out reverse is telling me that you really need to pay attention to this area. You really need to pay attention to your body. What you're putting into your body, what you're feeding yourself. This is second house as well. Your body physically is first house. Second house is what you feed that body. How you feed that body. What you feed it, how you feed it, what you like to eat, what you like to buy for yourself. Um, Hermit's indicating that um, there's something there physically that you can connect to, that you need to connect with. Um, yeah, there you go. Perfect. So that's definitely an important thing. Now, as you were doing that, as you are maybe meditating a little bit more, but when you meditate, I personally I like to suggest going with an embodiment meditation, something that helps you literally feel into your body because that is what is lacking right now. That is what is needed right now, especially with Saturn going through your first house, man. Saturn's like, yo, pay attention over here. This needs work. So as you're doing that, you also got the Ace of Swords, which is badass. Ace of Swords and the Nine of Wands. Ace of Swords indicates that there is some major insights, some major clarity that you're getting this week. So you're quite likely going to have an aha moment. It'll be like, oh, boom, now I get it. That's why this and this and this was happening. So, um, yeah, but it's like it's not going to come from an external source. It's going to come from within, an internal source. Um, yeah, it's not coming from without, it's coming from within. And the Nine of Wands is telling me that this is a daunting task for you. The Nine of Wands is called the Lord of Great Strength in my other decks. And I always like to think about how um, you don't get better at something if it's given to you and it's easy to do, right? You get better at something when you have to work at it. I, it sounds like Saturn, doesn't it? Yeah, exactly. Um, the Nine of Wands also tells me that, well, I mean, really, you're gaining mastery in something, okay? You're gaining mastery. But in order to gain that mastery, you have to put in a lot of extra effort. Um, so regardless of what the eclipse is bringing you, at the end of the day, how you respond to that energy, how you respond to that really is what it comes down to. And you will be in a better place to respond to anything if you're taking care of your physical vessel, right? If you're taking care of your physical body. So that's what's up for you guys. Oh, thank you, Kimberly. I got you. I'll pull a card for you at the end, okay? Alrighty, Pisces. Oh, okay. That's kind of cool. Underneath the deck, Pisces, you have a very nice and hopeful card too. I like this. It's 22 in the chat right now, and underneath the deck, you have a Two of Cups. So that's kind of nice. I like that. Um, you're welcome, Arme. I'm clearly picking up on your energy, so there you go. But I mean, lots of Pisces will be going through something similar. So anyway, Two of Cups is kind of nice underneath. It's like it's this underlying hopeful message of, never give up hope. There's always going to be chances to connect. There's always going to be new people to connect with, new romances to engage in, and it doesn't have to be with another person necessarily, right? We're talking about. Let me bring the chart back up. We're talking about an eclipse that's quite likely also playing out in your fifth house. And yes, this is romance, but it's hobbies and creativity, your creative energies. Two of Cups on a most basic level is like, yeah, romance, sure, but it's also like you can be in love with doing art, right? You can be in love with um, so many different things. Right? It's not just limited to a physical, carnal love, right? Okay. Especially for Pisces, like, I don't know why I'm preaching to you guys. You guys know what's up. You guys know what's up. So, what I would say is cultivate that love for your body. Cultivate that love for yourself. That's the message. There it is. What's up, donut? Moonday. Oh. Yeah, and I mean, you know, if you are struggling to show love to yourself, then you're going to struggle in relationships. So if you are doing really well at showing love to yourself, that's going to translate way better into all of your relationships. Familial, romantic, work, all of them. Okay. Aquarius. Donut in the house. Donut. You have a great intro. I need a cool intro. I keep saying that. I gotta do it though. All right. Bum, bum, bum. Aqua. Aquarius. Okay. All right, Aqua. So this is a fun one. Oh, hold on. Banner. Mm. There we go. All right. So Aquarius, for you guys, the solar eclipse is playing out in your third house with a nice sprinkling of flavor from the sixth house. So fun. All right. Third house is interesting. It has a lot of associations. The first and foremost biggest one that I associate with the third house is tools and skills. It's the tools and the skills that you learn how to do that help you walk your own path in life. So with an eclipse playing out here, I mean, this could quite literally be talking about a major upgrade and improvement in some of the skills that you have or a tool that you have. Of course, it doesn't come without challenges. We are talking about an eclipse after all. So it could be like you taking on some more tasks and learning how to do something. And actually, because the sixth house is being activated as well with Mars, the ruler of the eclipse, being in the sixth house, quite likely what I could see happening for a lot of Aquarius is aquas for aquas is you're learning a new skill and you have to use that on a day-to-day basis and practice it with a sense of discipline because it's becoming a part of your routine, right? That's kind of like third, sixth house. I could see that happening for sure. Oh, excuse me. Pardon me. So anyway, really cool. The third house can also be talking about like siblings. So you might literally see something play out with your siblings where, maybe they need some assistance from you, or maybe you have to be of service to your siblings in some way or to somebody in your neighborhood. The third house can be talking about literally your local neighborhood too. So there's a few areas that this can be playing out. Um, Neighborhood, siblings, or your own skill set. Uh, and in some way, that is inspiring you to do a little bit more work. Or literally, you have to just be of service to one of these people that's in your third house in those topics. So, you guys, are cute. Yeah, alrighty. Yeah, Kimberly and I were talking about the Illuminati earlier. That was fun. How else can this play out for Aqua? Now, Aquarius, because Pluto is now in your sign, and this eclipse will be squaring Pluto, um, there is something about what you are learning or some skill that you are just beginning to engage in that is going to really assist you with this rebirth process that you're about to go through. Now, keep in mind, Pluto is going to go back into Capricorn before the end of the year. And then next year move back into Aquarius, for real, for real. So this is just a taster, this Pluto ingress at 0 degrees. It's just a taster. It's the beginning. Okay, we're just getting the initial push. So this is going to be a long process, a long change, a long transformation that you're going to go through. But this eclipse will give you some really good indications about some of the skills that you're going to be developing and really honing, that will literally assist you with a beautiful rebirth process. Okay, we're a whole vibe. Word, we're a tribe with the vibe. We got a whole vibe. Yep. Okay. Just gonna play with that word now. All right, so Aquarius, what do we got for cards for you? Ooh, just split the deck. There's the Fool. The journey begins. There's something about shuffling cards that I find so soothing. Alrighty. Third house messages, of course. Alrighty, so Aquarius, what we got for you? We have the 8 of Wands, the Page of Cups, and the 9 of Cups. That's cool. I like that. That's alright. So 8 of Wands, real fast, passionate messages. Something I forgot to mention about the third house is its communications, social media. So quite literally, this could be somebody that you speak to like online, or that has like you could literally receive a letter in the mail. That would be fun. Wouldn't that be fun? Snail mail is so fun. Okay. You get a message. You get something. Somebody tells you some piece of information, or shows you some piece of information, and it lights this fire under your ass. Like, oh, I got to go into that. I got to learn more about that. And then we got this Page of Cups energy with the 9 of Cups energy. So lots of water stuff. Lots of water stuff. Lots of emotions. The Page, this is a younger, more immature energy. It could be like, actually, you know what? This is a skill that you're developing right now. This is a skill, a psychic or clairvoyant skill that you're just beginning to develop. Maybe you're not even fully conscious of it yet, right? Like maybe you don't even fully know that it's there, or you don't even know how to control it yet, or you're not sure how to use it yet, or it's controlling you right now, right? You're just learning how to do this thing, this new thing. But there's something about this week, something about this eclipse that really like begins to activate that for you. And you start using it on a more consistent basis. Because we've got this like Mars in the sixth house energy going on, I would encourage you to try and use it every single day. Try to do something to encourage its development and to use it every single day. And then with the Nine of Cups coming in as well, I love that the Nine of Cups is here because this is helping to encourage when we feel well, it's an encouraging card. Okay, it's the Lord of emotional satisfaction. It's called in some decks. It's literally about feeling content, feeling satiated emotionally, psychically, artistically. So developing this skill. Oh, it's all good, Mel. I even started like an hour and a half later, and you still made it. It's all good. Uh, it is a little bit psychic, and it's crazy because people trade so often when they're emotional. And what's really fun is track the markets during the lunation phases or in conjunction with the lunation phases. You'll see patterns. You will see patterns. Full and new moon, man. It's legit. Okay, so anyway, that's totally psychic. In a different way, and I love it. I love that you're doing that. So anyway, keep going with that. The more that you dedicate yourself to practicing something and to developing it, the faster and the sooner you'll get to a place of like actually feeling satisfied with it. Yeah. Word is a thing. I think there's even a website or an app that already has the I think is Jenny here? If Jenny is here, Jenny B knows what I'm talking about. There's an app or a website that you can add in different things to track, and you can add the full and new moon phases into it. So I forget what it's called because I don't study it. I should though, but but I don't. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. 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 Lunation phases. So new and full moon. You will literally see fluctuations in the stock market that correspond to that. It's pretty badass. Okay. So anyway, Pisces or Aquarius. Oh my gosh, Aquarius. Dive into that psychic energy. Don't be afraid of it and keep developing it. Because the more that you develop it, the better it's going to get. The better it's going to get, the more satisfied you're going to feel with it. And also, if you bury psychic stuff, it manifests as sickness, as illness, as dis-ease. I'm sure you guys are familiar with Louise Hay. It manifests as dis-ease. So it's important to work with it consciously whenever possible. Okay. Word. It's Aqua. Born. I'm trying to motor through here. I know I said I'd talk about Taurus. I think that I'm going to spend tomorrow to talk about the Mercury retrograde and just focus on just the eclipses for now. So that I can get through this in a timely fashion. So appreciate you guys. In a timely, of course, I talk about the timely fashion when I get to Capricorn. That makes sense. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, because I had to start a little bit later today. I want to go a little bit faster, so I'm gonna talk about the Mercury retrograde tomorrow. So, hang on to your hats, okay? All right, Capricorn. For you guys, this is happening in the 4th house. Now, eclipses in the 4th house. This is a big deal. So this is the first cardinal sign that we've gotten to. Capricorn, this is going to be a more impactful eclipse for you. 4th house deals with our ancestry. It deals with our mother and father. Traditional astrology, this is daddy, right? Or a father figure, especially when we've got the sun involved and Jupiter involved. There's two like father archetype figures in the 4th house right now that are being activated with us. So definitely something to pay attention to. An eclipse in the 4th house can bring major changes to your living situation, literally where you're living. It can bring big changes and can bring up stuff from your ancestry to deal with, especially as it has to do with your relationship with your father, with the archetype of the father. It can have big impacts in your family. With eclipses in the fourth house, unfortunately, this can mean, it doesn't mean this for everybody, okay? So please take this with a grain of salt, but it can mean for you, Capricorn rising, that somebody is literally being eclipsed out from the family. So unfortunately, that means for some of you will be going through a loss. Now keep in mind, eclipses, if they take something, something else comes in to replace it, right? We're recycling energy with eclipse energy, right? With eclipses. So like I said, this is the ending and the beginning and the beginning and the ending. So if something does happen where it's like there's something major that you have to deal with, whether it's property or whether it's literally a family member, just keep in mind that is clearing space for you to bring something else in. All right. So always keep that in mind. Now, it is also playing out with Mars in your seventh house. So this has to do with contracts with a partner. Um, yeah. So if you've got stuff going on at home with a partner, keep in mind that cooler heads always prevail. If you need to take space and use really good boundaries, then do so. And positively, on a positive way, like you could literally be talking about the future that you want to build with a partner, right? It's not always a bad thing. This can be playing out in a very positive way, where it's like, all right, let's what are we building? What do we need to pull down and destroy together so that we can build together, right? Yeah, I think that it will be uh better rather than trying to fit everything into one day reading over a couple of hours, because it's a lot, it's a lot of information. So yeah, and I don't know, I enjoyed streaming on the Tuesday last time anyway. So anyway, Capricorn, this is a big one. This is a big one, and I think you can hear in my voice I'm a little bit nervous. So I'll just be honest with you. It makes me a little. This configuration makes me a little bit nervous, but that's my own stuff coming out. It's not necessarily the astrology itself. The astrology is a little bit nerve wracking, but just being honest with you guys, my own shit makes me nervous about that. But oftentimes, what I find is, especially with things like eclipses, it's really easy to think of what the worst case scenario is and just focus on that. But it's usually often, in fact, it's not the worst case scenario that actually plays out. So be mindful of that when you're listening to these interpretations and you're listening for your sign and stuff, especially if you have a placement like Capricorn, where it's like the heavy and the dark stuff is what you're attracted to anyway. It's not always worst case scenario. Okay, so anyway, cards for Capricorn. What do we got? I actually would really like to say as well, like this kind of an eclipse happening in the fourth house with Jupiter involved as well. Let's not forget Jupiter's there. This is bringing about a really beautiful opportunity for you to heal through something. When we're talking fourth house, we're talking about like family ancestral patterns, right? So some of those family and ancestral patterns that you've been dealing with for your entire life, this is an opportunity to heal some of them, to eclipse out habits, or patterns, and work through them in a really beautiful way, and somehow go on an entirely new journey because of that. So Capricorn, we got the Lovers card, we got the Six of Cups, and we got the Ace of freaking Pentacles. What? See? If I listen to that little fearful voice that a lot of people are familiar with, but if you have a lot of Capricorn placements, you're definitely familiar with. If you listen to that little voice all the time, you will self-sabotage, so don't listen to it. The Lovers card, the Six of freaking Cups, and the Ace of Pentacles. And underneath the Fool. Okay. So Lover's card is Six of Pentacles. Like I'm saying, there is some deep ancestral patterns that are coming to the surface for you to heal through, for you to complete and finish and start new patterns. So what are you destroying in order to build something new? That's what Mars wants to know. With the Lover's card coming out, literally, you are definitely dealing with something to do with partnerships. Six of Cups really just confirms it. This is a deeply bonded, spiritually bonded partnership that you're dealing with, whether it is literally a romantic partner that you're living with, that would be engaging the seventh house, or it's some other kind of like spiritual contract. Um, it's a significant one, and what you're working through together is really important. You're going to be mirroring each other. There's two sixes here. You're going to be mirroring each other in some really significant way. So, yeah, just pay attention to the patterns that are coming up, because there's a promise of something new here. There's a promise of something new here. Your fifth house is was also going to be majorly activated and has been majorly activated for a while. So if children are and we're moving into Taurus season right after this. So if children are on your mind, there's, and actually, fertility season's coming up real quick for you, Capricorn, with Jupiter about to move into your fifth house. So this is like an opportunity for you to clean house of all of the karmic shit that you've been dealing with in order to get ready for whatever new opportunities Jupiter wants to bring you, or for whatever new opportunities the Taurus house of your chart wants to bring you. And I love that. I freaking love these cards. The Fool is beautiful. There's the promise of the new beginning. Okay. So trust in spirit, also trust in your intuition. Don't be afraid to drop excess heavy burdens and walk away if you need to take space if you need to. You're dealing with a situation where you're really intensely bonded with somebody, but at the same time, there's this energy of freedom, and yeah, there's just this energy of freedom that's also present. So yeah, Capricorn, interesting, interesting cards. I'm excited about the Fool underneath. I really am. Also, 22 in the chat. What's up? Hello, everybody. Love to see it. Sagittarius. Sagittarius. So, Sag, this for you, this eclipse is happening in your fifth house. This is the house of children, of fun, of romance, of risk, of gambling. As soon as this decides to load, that'd be great. um, for this one, for you guys, there's a major ending and a major beginning happening with a hobby that you have or a creative project that you have. All of these things. If you have been thinking about children, if you've been thinking about children and maybe even starting some kind of like small business or something like that, like this is a fantastic opportunity. Actually, it's a new moon, right? So we're planting a seed, we're beginning something. Definitely Jupiter's there, so it's giving this beautiful boost. Also, Jupiter rules your first house, so there's like an extra added emphasis on this eclipse for you specifically, because it's involving your chart ruler. Really focus in on, are you feeling creatively fulfilled right now? Are you what are you doing? What are you doing? Where are you going? How are you spending that energy? Definitely, there's a chance for new romance if you're single. And if you do get together with anybody, it's fated. Let me just say it like that. It's fated. Um, Now, when I say fated, I don't mean that it's fated to last forever. Not at all. But there's something. I was actually just talking with Kimberly about this, actually. Sometimes we've got. Okay, when we have karma with somebody, all right, karma just means that there is an unsettled debt. All right, there's an unsettled debt. There's a contract. It doesn't mean that it's bad, and it doesn't mean that it's good. Oh, hell yeah, girl. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah. Like children are karma, right? Yeah. Even you coming across my stream right now, yes, you in the stands right now as we speak. There's a debt that I'm fulfilling to you right now, right? That's actually karma. It simply is the result of previous actions. So it's neither good nor bad. Um, so anyway, interesting window for fertility stuff. Very interesting window. It can also be involving, since Mars is in your eighth house, it can be involving other people's resources at the same time or other people's stuff. Um, fifth house, eighth house, that's kind of fun. Eighth house can be talking about some of our investments, whereas fifth house is like fun and gambling and shit like that, like high risk, high risk, high reward, lower risk, lower reward. But I don't know. The Lord of the Fifth and the Eighth is kind of like investing in some risky stuff, but it actually paying off. So that's kind of fun. Anyway, so what do we got for Sag for cards? Let's see. Trying to go a little bit faster because I only have until 4 p.m. my time, so I got another hour. So I gotta like fucking boogie here. All right, Sag, what do we got for you guys? Whoa, that's a lot of cards, dude. So we're rushing, but we're rushing a little bit too much. So I'm just gonna take a breath here. All right, that's better. Sagittarius, what do we have for you for this eclipse? Fifth house eclipse. I love birds. First birds we usually see are like little sparrows and magpies. There's always lots of magpies. I actually love magpies though. I think they're really pretty. I've never seen a bird mating. That's so crazy. False reality checks talking about birds mating and stuff right in front of her face. I've never seen a bird mating. That's so cool. All right, Sagittarius. Seriously, what do we got for you? Six of Swords. Oh, science. Queen of Wands. She showed herself earlier. Okay, so there's a lot of sense of movement here. Six of Swords is often to me about being able. Oh, and the Hierophant, nice. Often being able to. Oh, strength underneath. Sorry, distractions. Being able to balance out an. Oh my god. Being able to balance out an equation. Okay, you know all of the variables involved, and you know if you make a minor tweak here or a minor tweak there, what the outcome is going to be. I like to think of the Six of Swords also as having like a finely tuned running engine, and the engine is your mind. So right now, Sag, your mind is like a finely tuned sports engine, right? Jupiter's in Aries, a finely tuned fucking muscle car. Oh, yes, there it is. We landed on the right one. A finely tuned muscle car. Gas engine, baby. V8. I don't know very much about cars. That's about the extent of my knowledge. But that's it, right? That's it exactly. Um and you can hear. You can hear when an engine is really finely tuned. If it's a little bit off, or if the gas oxygen mixture is a little bit off, like you can actually hear it when it's wrong, or when something's going wrong in the car. Um that's you right now, Sag. That's you right now. You can feel it. Uh, you can see it. And if something is a little bit off, like you know it automatically. It's like, right, something's wrong and I don't feel right. So make an adjustment. Oh, I love that. I love that we're talking about birds. You guys are the best. And mating. That's so funny. Oh my gosh. Anyway, you feel it, you know it. Um, with this being a fifth house eclipse, I kind of want to say like, don't be afraid to have fun. All right, literally, don't be afraid to have fun. Um, that's what the fifth house is all about. It's fun, romance, pleasure, creativity, all of those really fun topics. High risk, high reward, baby. Um, there might be something, or rather, there is something about this that's helping you to cultivate confidence in yourself. Right? We got the Queen of Wands. Fairly solar figure. So whatever you're doing, have fun with it. Okay, gamify it. Enjoy life. Right. This is a fairly sexual energy too. Like it's, like come and give me some. That's the look on her face. And also underneath the deck, you have strength or lust as well. So more fire sign goodness. And this being an underlying energy is like it's very sexual. Uh, and again, it's up to you how you want to use that energy, right? Like I said, this is a beautiful eclipse for seeding something. And of course, let's say you're seeding a child, okay, just as an example. That is an ending in a way, right? You're ending a phase of your life and beginning a totally new phase. That'll happen. You also have the Hierophant coming out. Abundance, baby. Abundance. Lots of ways to look at the Hierophant. In this particular instance, I'm going to say that energetically for you, it's saying focus on abundance. What brings you abundance? What helps you feel secure, right? The Hierophant can also be talking about like slightly more traditional ways of doing things. It's like the traditional institute of marriage. That might not be for you, and that's okay. That's not really what I'm talking about in this particular instance. It's just a keyword that goes with this card. So don't forget to play. Okay, make adjustments where you need. If something is off about your routine, or if something is off in how you're dealing with your finances, or if you've been focusing too much on play and not enough on responsibility, I don't know. You've got to balance it back out. That's what the Six of Wands is saying. But the or Six of Swords, sorry, Six of Swords, Queen of Wands rather. She's like, yeah, have fun with it. And also, make sure that you know how freaking hot you are right now, Sag. Okay, seriously. And lastly, Hierophant promises fertility and growth and abundance of all things. So be mindful of how you use that energy because it promises to grow. So have fun with it, right? Have fun with it, play with it, be artistic with it. Mm. Channel it wisely. Damn, Sag. Time to seduce him, okay? Oh, yeah. That's hilarious. And I mean, obviously, like, I don't know where you are in your cycle, you know what I mean? So, um, I just feel like this is an important cycle for you. So, roll with it. Roll with that energy. Oh my God, that's so funny. Oh, you guys, cracking me up. Yep. All right, Scorpio. As soon as this decides to load. Scorpio, this eclipse is happening in your sixth house. So, sixth house eclipse, we are talking about your daily habits, your service, All right, employees, employment, your day-to-day routine really is the sixth house. So with an eclipse in the sixth house, an eclipse in the sixth house, enunciate for you. My apologies. Um, in a sign that is also ruled by the same same planet as your chart ruler, Mars. This is kind of interesting because it's like, all right, there's a big adjustment happening with how you live your daily life, right? Jupiter's been in this sign really expanding all of the things, expanding all of the things. And there's like some tasks that you probably need to end and stop doing in order to make room for whatever new thing really wants to come in. So there's that. It's also playing out with some ninth house flavoring, or yeah, could even also be playing out with the ninth house. And Mars in the ninth is like, actually, you know what? There could be a major change and reconstruction in some of your beliefs. Actually, ninth house has a lot to do with our beliefs. So some of your beliefs might be changing and going through this reconstruction process, which alters how you spend some of your day, which alters your day-to-day activities. And it's kind of funny. I'm reflecting about how um I know some people that are not Scorpio rising, but still it's topically similar. They are beginning a new practice of reading a particular book. And this book has a very heavy spiritual connotation to it. Obviously, it is the Bible. So, so it's interesting how um, that's just kind of it's coming to my mind right now. But anyway, you're experiencing some shifting in beliefs, right? Some shifting in maybe even actually this could be playing out actually instead of beliefs is like you're beginning some major studies, right? And any kind of major studies you're taking on is like that's going to obviously make you change your day-to-day routine. But it's something that you're really dedicating yourself to powerfully, right? This is a very powerful dedication that you're going through right now, Scorpio. Yeah, yeah. Good. Good luck, buddy. Anyway, powerfully dedicating yourself to some new habits, some new routines, because it's tying in with your ninth house of belief structures and higher education. So, what do we got for Scorpio? Scorpio, what do we have for you? Mm-mm-mm. Whoa. That's a lot of cards, my friends. That one. Mm. King of Pentacles. First card out. That's cool. Okay. So something that I didn't mention about the sixth, as it relates to health and your daily habits and routine and stuff, is with the King of Pentacles, there's been a heavier emphasis on your health, right? With Jupiter going through that sign. Now, with the eclipse is about to roll through that sixth house as well, this is like, this is you, okay? This is you, Scorpio. See that look on his face? That is a determined man. That is somebody that's like, he has identified where the problem is, what the problem is, and he's going to attack it. No, Pentacles, you don't really think about it in that way with Pentacles, but um, when we're talking about the sixth house, that's like really dedicating yourself to activity in the gym or with weights, or with like really just being really dedicated with a routine habit that you do on a day-to-day basis. This could also be like, of course, this can be talking about work too, with it being Pentacles. So this is really being committed to a practice that helps you gain. That helps you gain. Just make gains. That's the biggest word that's coming out right now is gains. Whether it's gym gains, whether it's work gains, whether it's I don't know. You can apply it to so many different things, but that's the word that's coming out. And then we got the Four of Swords. The Four of Swords and then two different knights. Huh. Okay. So we're making serious gains. Um but at the same time there's this energy of needing to pause and put something else to rest. So this kind of brings to mind this idea with this eclipse of endings and beginnings. And I kind of want to say Scorpio. I pictured you, Chance, while I was saying that word. I was like, gains. Yep. I don't know. It kind of brings to mind this idea of endings and beginnings, and the importance of rest days, right? Like Chance. Oh, word. There you go. That's oh, literally stock market gains. That's hilarious. I didn't even think of that. That's so fun. Okay, so anyway, this brings to mind the importance of rest days or rest moments or rests in between activities or something like that. Because that's the Four of Swords, really, is putting a pause on something or meditating on something or maybe even doing a little bit more research about what you are doing exactly. Um, yeah. And then we got these two Knight cards. These two came out at the same time. We have the Knight of Cups and the Knight of Swords. Thank you. So the Knight of Cups and the Knight of Swords. They're facing each other. They're running at each other. So that's interesting. I need to sit with this for a second. Oh, it's 3:14. Happy pie. Huh. Huh. So Knight of Cups is like a pleasure seeker. It is somebody, an archetype, and this could be you or could be somebody that you're, working with or learning from. Somebody that really is just seeking a fun time, that really wants to enjoy themselves and enjoy life, and they're very artistically inclined. They're more sensitive. And then you have the Knight of Swords, which is like very much a Gemini archetype of I have this idea and I'm absolutely gonna jump in and tell you what I think about that idea. And I don't know, it's kind of like it, it feels like this is both you, right? And it's like these is two archetypes that are kind of like not in a battle, but you're trying to balance them out. So it's like you have mastered something to do with the physical element. That's the King of Pentacles that we were talking about earlier. You've mastered something to do with the physical element. And now you're seeking after, chasing after, literally you get the sense of chasing after some like emotional high that's also intellectual. So that's kind of what I'm getting with that. So I don't know, I kind of just get the sense of using your rest time or taking more time to rest, taking a little bit more time to like not sit back. That's not the right word. It's not like stopping all activity, but just putting certain things on hold to focus on another area. Be cautious about just chasing after emotional highs, especially if you're someone that's like learning things like the stock market or something like that. And especially with all of this like Mars and Cancer energy and whatnot, it's important to balance it out, right? Like you're going to go through waves of excitement and disappointment. So don't let those waves and that fluctuation dictate your activities, right? This is the thing. This is the thing, okay, with Mars and Cancer. With that being your ruling planet, Cancer is a very like fluctuating sign. It's like because it's ruled by the moon, and the moon's very fluctuation oriented. It waxes and wanes. So Mars in this Cancer energy is very much like one moment we're up and we're conquering the world and we are super high in the sky for the northern hemisphere. Literally, this is the highest point on the ecliptic, the most northerly point on the ecliptic. So literally, Mars is super high in the sky, and so one moment we're like way up here, and the next moment we could be really down here. With this being your ruling planet and it being involved in the eclipse, make sure that you are not allowing your moods to dictate the dedication that you have, or the dedication that you have, whatever service you're involved in, whatever employment you're involved in. You got to battle through those changes in mood and that fluctuation in your emotional and psychic state. Yeah, I don't know. I just get the sense of like 1 minute it's much more about the emotional thing, and then the next minute it's much more about the intellectual thing. And I kind of feel like taking little breaks and taking little moments to kind of like chill out and take a rest day, so to speak, is going to really help you balance that out and smooth it out and make it so that it's less like this and much more even. Yeah, that's what I got for you, Scorpio. Okay. Libra. So we are now in the northern signs. So Libra, the nodes and the eclipses are moving into your axis. So as one of the other cardinal signs, this eclipse is going to be much more impactful for you. Of course, this is happening in your 7th house, and being that you are a much more relationally focused sign, and this being in the house of relationships, this is it's a little bit easier to interpret, I'm not gonna lie. But for you guys, Libra, this eclipse is all about your partnerships. What kinds of partnerships have you been in the past? What are you in right now, if any? Do you want to be in a relationship? Right? This is a good question. Do you even want that for yourself right now? And of course, you don't have to, right? Just because you're having an eclipse in the 7th house doesn't mean that you need to be in a relationship. In fact, I've definitely seen it personally where I was single as fuck on the years that I was having eclipses in this axis. All right. The point is that we're planting a seed right now. We're beginning a new cycle right now. At the same time as we're ending a cycle right now. So I would say that this is actually a lot about like when you are in relationship, right? And that can be romantic or it can be business relationship. 7th house is formal settings, contracts, counseling work. If you do any kind of counseling work, you engage in your 7th house. Any kind of consultations, you're engaging in the 7th house. If you're a freelancer, you're engaging in the 7th house. Signing a lease, the 7th house. So it's not just marriages, okay? We're clearing out something right now, finishing out something right now. And it could be how you operate in relationships, right? That could be a big part of this. So when it comes to like the balance of me versus we, how do you feel about that? How does that land for you? Are you able to balance out your needs and my needs? Literally balance out, Libra. Are you able to balance that out, or do you still struggle with that? Now, this is also playing out with Mars in the 10th house, so this has a lot to do with also the well, interestingly enough, it's going to have an impact on your career as well. So 10th house is career, public image, that kind of stuff. And with this, with Mars being there and it being the lord of this eclipse, or the ruler of this eclipse, or the house owner of this. I'm experimenting with different words. The owner of the house where this eclipse is occurring. Um, there's something about your career life that is being affected by whatever's going down with your relationships. Yeah, dude. Oh, what's up, Thunder Chicken in the house? Thunder Chicken. I just caught your talk with Michelle and Grounded Extract Herbs. And who else was on that talk? You, Michelle, Grounded Extracts. I feel like there's somebody else. But anyway, yeah, it was cool to hear you guys talk shop about cannabis. Oh, it's Benjamin Balderson. Yeah, that's right. That was a fun talk on Michelle's Healing Home channel. Yeah, Ben Balderson. Thank you. Anyway, cannabis is fun. Okay, so back to Libra. All right. Yeah, I think I said what I needed to say. There's stuff playing out for you in your career as well. So, yeah, JLo, you should be listening to your rising sign anyway, girl. Shit. Uh-oh. We have a card turned around. We have a few cards turned around. Ooh, is it an accident? I don't know if I believe in accidents, y'all. Hold on, what other cards are turned around? Yo, Libra, what the hell? Interesting. So there's 4 cards here that were turned around magically. Okay, I don't know how that happened. They must have flipped over and I didn't see it. Interesting. All major arcana 2. What the hell? What the hell? Yeah, and like I said, like seventh house is not only marriages, it's all kinds of contracts. Okay, so it's so crazy to me when like cards flip over like this because I don't know if it was like just an accident. You know what I mean? Was it just an accident or was it is it fate? Is it fate? So I'm just going to read the cards that are flipped and pretend that it was on purpose. Okay. So anyway, Libra. We got the Lover's card. Makes sense. We're talking about 7th house transit. We have the High Priestess. Okay. Lover's High Priestess. Uh-huh. Oh, boy. We have the 8 of Cups. Temperance. And the Fool. 5 friggin' cards. God damn it, Libra. Okay. Alrighty, so Lovers and High Priestess. I'm gonna do these in chunks. Like this. Ba-dum, ba-dum. Um, because we have this pip card in the middle, and it's kind of like he's leaving one set to go towards the other set. So that's neat. So anyway, Lovers and High Priestess. When it comes to relationships, how much do you rely on your intuition? Are you able to receive messages, like gut messages? Oh, water break. Oh, yeah. So when it comes to relationships, how much do you rely on your intuition? Are you able to tap into your intuition or are you in a place right now where you can tap into your intuition? So here's the thing. A lot of the times what we think is intuition is actually just a very strong emotional reaction that is tapping into an old trauma. This is the the not fun part about this, the whole thing, the whole mystic path that we got to talk about. We have to work through our old traumas. And when we are overwhelmed with an emotion, it is often not actually intuition. It is stuff from the past playing out in the present, through your body. So embodiment practices are really important. This is why I talk about them literally all of the freaking time, um, because they're so important. Um, so anyway, are you able to access intuition, especially when it comes to being in a relationship? Now we've got this Eight of Cups here. The Eight of Cups is a figure that is walking away from something in order to find a deeper, more fulfilling thing. A deeper, more spiritually and more emotionally fulfilling thing. He's walking away from something potentially material, but also something stagnant. And what's kind of cool, actually, fun, that is the image of an eclipse. So literally, this eclipse is really getting you to look at how you relate to others, right? On an emotional basis. Anyway, he's walking towards Temperance, or the Alchemy card, and the Fool. So we are leaving behind, Libra, you are leaving behind your old ways of relating, your old ways of just picking people that mirror you. Um, you're leaving behind this habit that everybody has, honestly, but this habit that you have of picking people that just mirror something that you need to make conscious about yourself, and going more towards things that are freeing, patterns that are freeing. And also, you're on this really important part of your journey where it's what you're doing is, well, you're being given an opportunity definitely to dig into some of those old patterns, bring them up to the surface, and alchemize them. You're turning lead into gold, metaphorically. Right? I know. I'm like, uh, is it a mistake or is it not? I don't know. Moonshine. That is not moonshine. That is water. Oh my god. It's my favorite cup. Okay, is uh my mason jar. uh, Interesting. J Lo. Cold and nauseous. Pay attention to that. Right. That's a signal. It's a message from your body. Something that you need to pay attention to. So anyway, Libra, fascinating read. Four freaking major arcana cards. And they pulled themselves out in a way. So I don't know. Even though you've got this stuff playing out in your 10th house, I'm feeling this more as like, I don't know, it's a really personal, it's a very like personal read, which makes sense. You're a cardinal sign. This is a cardinal axis that's being activated. Um you're about to go through some really major transformations, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So roll with it. I gave that message to Sag, just roll with it. Um don't be afraid of the things that you're letting go of at this time, because there's new things coming in, definitely. Blessings coming in, definitely. That is for sure. Um yeah, trust in spirit and leap. Yeah, ready to level up, word. A word. Yeah, I'm excited. Uh you're Leo rising. You shush. You're Leo rising. Okay, Virgo. Oh yeah, Leo rising. So much about to go on in Taurus. Dude. Dude, I'm excited for you. Okay, so anyway, Virgo. Um Anytime you want to load, that'd be great. All right, let's give these bad boys a good shuffle here before we talk on Virgo. But in the meantime, you guys can just absorb that chart. Okay, Virgo. For you guys, this is an 8th house eclipse. With special flavorings of Mars in your 11th. So with the 8th house eclipse, we're talking about other people's finances, other people's stuff. And the 9 of Pentacles drops out, of course. Okay. So with Jupiter here, and with this being on the very last degree of this sign here on your 8th house, there's a heavy emphasis on the occult. Okay, a heavy emphasis on doing deep dives into your own psychology, right? Psychological breakthroughs, right? Huge breakthroughs can be had with this kind of energy going on in your 8th house. But as it pertains to like other people's finances, like we can be talking about debts or loans. We could be talking about inheritances. This is the kind of energy that can usher in like a major inheritance. So keep your eyes peeled. You never know. You never know what could happen. Um, Specifically, how Mars is in the 11th right now. Um, there's this interesting play between your groups that you're associated with, your friends, and how they can help or hinder you, support or tear you down, right? And you know, if you have friends that are tearing you down rather than building you up, why are they your friends? Right? This is something really important to consider. Mars is helping you break away and sever connections with people that don't deserve to be in your energy, right? That don't deserve to be in your field, right? They don't deserve your energy. And it's helping you build new connections too, all right? And then with the 8th house, we're talking about trust and intimacy and deep psychological stuff, right? So if you have friends that you can't trust with your deep psychological shit, why are they your friends? And vice versa, if you have friends that are helping you through deep psychological shit, right? And they are being supportive and helping to build you up, then that's great. Keep going towards those connections. So this is just a big thing for Virgo right now, is considering this play between the 8th and the 11th house. I like, honestly, I like the eclipse happening here with Jupiter because it's softening it so much. It's helping to bring about a rebirth, right? And let's not forget about the square to Pluto. There's major rebirth energy happening here, Virgo. So this is a major breakthrough for you, and I'm excited. I'm actually excited about that. Now we're talking about rocks. I love fancy rocks, sparkly rocks. They're fucking great. Okay, so anyway, Virgo, I got one of your cards right away as I was talking about other people's money. That's so funny to me. We got the 9 of Pentacles. I love this card. This is about financial independence. This is about the freedom that you gain when you take care of yourself in a seriously positive way. Nine of Pentacles can literally be talking about some kind of windfall or experiencing some kind of increase in finances or in physical goods. Like I said, we're talking about the eighth house. This is inheritances. This is receiving something that didn't originally belong to you, but now it does. Um, so I don't know, there's a few things in there that you can read into this card, but I like that that came out initially. It's also a Venus card, Venus in Virgo, really enjoying beauty. And the beauty of being organized, you know what I mean? The beauty of being organized. Yeah, and like every time I see that lady with the hawk, it's like, this is a lady that recognizes and values freedom. Um, yeah, so this card deck is the Art Nouveau, the Golden Art Nouveau. Uh, it's essentially a Rider Waite deck, but with updated art. Thank you for sharing that with me, Thunder Chicken. Um, she's been job hunting as a Virgo rising, eh? Well, I'll tell you what, Venus in Gemini right now is helping Virgo rising look really good as far as job is concerned. So I'll give you that also as a little nugget of hope. Um, Speaking of a Venus card anyway, yeah. Okay, so Virgo rising. What else do we got for you, Virgo? It's just reminded to sit up straight, and I was like, damn. Sit up straight, Virgo. Or maybe that's you telling me. I don't know. Oh, that's funny. I actually got I was given this little bolster thing. Oh man, it's helping me improve my posture like tenfold. Ugh. It's the little things. All right, Virgo, seriously. What else? I mean, I can just talk about the nine of pentacles if you want me to, but I want three cards for you. All right, another nine. Okay. Endings and beginnings is a big theme. We got the nine of wands. So the nine of pentacles and then the nine of wands. Nine of wands is, well, there has been a battle. You have been through a battle. Doesn't have to be a kinetic war, right? You've been through a battle. It could be an ideological battle, it can be a physical battle, it can be a spiritual battle. Regardless, you've been fighting, and you're at you're almost finished. Ooh, I love that. You're almost finished. Um, like I was saying about the astrology, this is a breakthrough moment. This is a breakthrough eclipse. This is the kind of energy that's going to help you really usher in some really significantly new energy by helping you getting rid of some old shit, right? And the nine of wands rather is you doing exactly that, right? This is the Lord of Great Strength. I love the title of this freaking card. It's perfect. It's still standing. I miss that person. We're still standing. They need to be in here. Um, but yeah, it's like, you know what? You might need a little bit of support right now. So seek support from your support network, right? That 11th, 8th house play. Seek support from your support network. There's people around you that can help you stay standing, right? I just got huge chills. And the final card in your spread here is the freaking Chariot. Go for the win, Virgo. Go for the win. You fucking got this. You have lots of support around you. Both physical and spiritual support. The Chariot is about victory. It's about taking, especially with the nine of wands. It's like you have this energy here in your field of major victories and major wins. It's just you cannot give up. Yeah, Kimberly, there's somebody there's somebody that has the name still standing that usually hangs out with us, and they're not here right now, but that made me think of them. Um, yeah, anyway, seriously, a major, major victory energy. Underneath the deck, we also have Judgment. Breakthrough, breakthrough, Virgo, breakthrough. Um, hang on, okay? Keep hanging on. Uh, in this week's events, not saying you won't be challenged, okay? There's definitely challenging things here. There's definitely challenging things with this eclipse. There's been challenges for everybody for the last 3 fucking years. But the double nine, Judgment coming out with the Chariot, it's like you're. I've used the word precipice already a lot, but I want to say it again. You're on this precipice of breaking through and making some really significant psychological advancements for yourself. So don't be afraid to really like dig deep, get the puck to the net, and keep making passes. I don't know why hockey just came into my head, but fuck, I guess it works. Um, oh, I guess it's that Mars and Cancer energy. I'm just thinking of teammates stuff. So yeah, reach out to your teammates. Uh, who among your teammates can help you, right? Tap into that resource, right? You have friends for a reason, so don't be afraid to ask for support where it's needed. And this is going to help you answer an important call, right? So you can give up right now and be lame, or you can keep going, which is what I think that you'll do. So keep going, Virgo. You fucking got this. I look forward to hearing the story of your epic breakthrough later. Yeah. Okay, Leo. Leo. Oh my gosh. All right, Leo. So for you guys, I forgot to hit the button. For you guys, this is happening in your ninth house. So solar eclipse in the ninth house, we're talking about a change in beliefs. We're talking about potentially even actually traveling, like getting the itch to want to travel. Especially if you uh, go to some place that has some like spiritual or religious significance to you. You could also be like just looking to publish stuff for this time period, but literally an eclipse is more likely to bring about some major changes in some of your belief structures. And it could actually be encouraging you to deepen your study. Sometimes, actually, I've seen an eclipse on the ninth house, third house axis suddenly open people to like divination studies, practicing with different divination studies. So definitely stuff to keep an eye open for. And then with Mars in your 12th house, well, this is a very spiritual square here, right? The ninth and the 12th house, they're both very spiritual houses. 12th house dealing with your deep subconscious and spirituality in general, the unseen, hidden things. Can also be talking about your own undoing. So perhaps you're actually learning about something that previously was very toxic and not good for you. And now this Mars energy with this eclipse energy is helping you cut that out of your life so that you can move on and continue to expand and grow and blossom. That is disgusting. Thank you for sharing. Oh, Gimli, why? What? Oh, he's like, it's a snack though. Well, that's life and death for you. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Got distracted. You guys are so distracting. I'm trying to like motor through here. Yeah, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. All right, Leo. What do we got for cards for you? Ninth house eclipse. lots of fun stuff going on. Big spiritual shifts. Uh, if you're a Leo rising then and you already, oh, yep, there it is, and you already work with divination, this could be a really good time to just deepen your practice, right? So first card out for you, Leo rising, is the Page of Cups. Oof. Tell me what to do. So anyway, Page of Cups. This to me could be talking about a brand new spiritual belief, a brand new spiritual practice, a brand new emotional practice, paired with the Knight of Pentacles. This is something that you need to incorporate into a daily practice, something that you need to stabilize or work on until it is a stable thing. Ooh, with the Magician. Yes! I like that. Ooh. Underneath is interesting. Alrighty. Okay. So yeah, Page of Cups. Something very new. You're beginning a new practice, beginning a new phase in something. Like I said, with this like 9th, 11th house energy playing out, this could quite literally be a new spiritual practice or a new divination practice that you're just incorporating in a day-to-day basis. Or you need to incorporate on a day-to-day basis. With the Knight of Pentacles coming out. The Knight of Pentacles, I'll show you guys. He's not moving very fast, all right? He moves rather slow because he's not interested in expansion until what he has been stabilized and nurtured to the point where he knows he can expand without harming or hurting anything that he's got going on already. And then with the Magician coming out, this is talking about building skills, communicating, expanding on not expanding, that's not the right word. Or it can be, I guess, expanding in your own self-confidence. So Leo, because you are ruled by the sun as a Leo rising, every time you have a solar eclipse, this pertains to some major change that's going on with your body. So not to complicate things, but that's a thing. So when it comes to like teaching others, or even just deepening or broadening your studies in a matter, how confident do you feel, right? This is really helping you gain some new skills or sharpen some skills that you already had. I love the Magician coming out. I think that it is really just pointing to actually I feel like there is a call for you to work with the water element right now. So yeah, Sun's in Aries, blah blah blah, all that lovely stuff. The court card that came out that's the least developed is this Page of Water. And we got Mars and Cancer. So I don't know, there's something about the water element specifically that it's almost like that one needs to be worked on a little bit more. So the flow of emotion, connectivity, the wet and cool things. So connectivity, the flow of emotion, your artistic, creative energies. That can be fire and it can be water. So, when you relate to other people, are you vulnerable? Do you allow yourself to be vulnerable? For Leo rising, that is a challenge. That is a challenge. Okay, in order for Leo to walk the Leo path, to be comfortable in their pride, to be extremely self-expressive, to be willing to be on the stage and be the center of attention. That's very much a Leo thing. To be big and loud and roar like a lion, they have to bury the aspect of Cancer. They have to bury the nurturing and some of the need for family ties. Not that Leo doesn't have family, it's just the archetype of Cancer is in their 12th house. They bury Cancer. Um, it's almost like Mars wants you to develop this a little bit. So Mars and Aries, they want you to develop the water aspect a little bit. So don't be afraid of that. Um, be like water, my friend. Yeah, that's really cool. That's really cool that that's coming into your head lately. With Saturn and Pisces, I think that's really Saturn and Pisces and the Mars trine that they were going through. That's really cool. That's really cool. Be like water, my friend. Could this affect dreams? Absolutely, 100% yes. $1,000,000% yes. The 12th house has to do with our sleep and our dreams, right? So when you have a major transit to the 12th house or the ruler of the 12th house, which in this case we're talking about the moon, and then Mars in Cancer, definitely I would expect Leo risings to have fairly active dreams while Mars is moving through here. And if you do have an important dream, Leo, write it down, right? Engage this magician energy, write down that dream, because there could be a really important message there for you. Yeah, good times. Underneath the deck, by the way, Leo, you got death. So this is about death and rebirth, right? This is about composting things that need to be gotten rid of because they will be toxic if you keep them around. This is what Mars is doing in your 12th house. This is what Mars is doing in your 12th house. It's helping you to purge psychological fears. It's helping you to purge some of your anxieties. And perhaps how you could encourage this energy is make up some kind of ritual for yourself, some kind of ceremony for yourself using fire and water specifically, and play with those two elements. But definitely engage with the element of water this week. Work with water this week. Yeah. Okay, Leo. I did it. I got to Leo. Okay, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to pause with the signs. I'm going to finish with the last quarter of the zodiac, Cancer, Gemini, Taurus, and Aries tomorrow. And I'll do more, I'll have the opportunity for us to do more personal readings tomorrow as well. And I'll talk about, maybe I'll save that for Wednesday. I'll talk about the Mercury retrograde. Should I do that tomorrow? No, I'm not going to do that tomorrow. I'm going to do that Wednesday. Sorry, I'm scheduling things on the fly here. I wanted to pull a personal card because I had Kimberly ask me for a personal card, so I'll do that now. Thank you guys for tuning in. Unfortunately, my schedule does not allow me to finish the signs right now. So I'm going to come back tomorrow to finish their last 4. And in the meantime, I love you all. And let me pull a card for you now, Kimberly. Yeah, my day should be great. Thank you. I hope the rest of your guys' day is great. Yeah, I apologize for not getting to the rest of the signs. I just need to figure out a couple of the things that I got going on in the morning on Mondays, and I'll have more time to get through everybody next week. Where is that? All right. All right. So single card for Kimberly H. What do we got for you? Oops. Yeah, I know. I kind of like streaming midday. It's fun. I've been enjoying it. It can be for the eclipse if you want it to be. It's your card. All you said in your message was being supportive. One card. And I'm like, okay. so, so it's up to you. I can pull a card for the eclipse if you'd like. So that's probably what's on your mind right now, since we were talking about it. You gotta tell me before a card comes out, though. So, or the last question that you had for me in your natal reading that we didn't quite get to, I can pull a card about that. Highest good. Okay, cool. What does Kimberly need to hear for her highest good right now? I like that. Oh, there it is. Oh, the Page of Cups. All right, girl. So, Page of Cups. Hey, Logan, you were super late, but that's okay. I'm about to sign out. But anyway, Kimberly, Page of Cups for you. All right. There is an area that you've been developing in, right? Something that is fairly new to you still, that is psychic in nature. This is indicative of literally psychic skills opening up, right? And developing. This is not something to be afraid of. It is something to lean into. And you have been, so that's really great. I'm really glad that I got to do this for you after we had a session because I know a little bit more about where you're at. That's kind of neat. That's fun. I like doing that. So to continue to develop those things. Don't be afraid. And also when it comes to like your emotions, make sure that you are expressing freely and being forward about how you're feeling and checking in with people around you about what you're going through and how you're feeling about it. The Page of Cups is indicative that like this water element needs more development, right? Maybe you're thirsty right now, like me. Maybe you're thirsty right now. I would suggest more water. But other than like on a literal level, like we're talking metaphorical here. Give yourself grace for when you are feeling more sensitive than normal. And also give the children that are around you a little bit of grace when they are a little bit more sensitive, right? We pick up on other people's energies really strongly, and children do this naturally. No matter what their sun sign is, that doesn't matter. Children pick up on stuff because they're intuitive as hell. Because we haven't hammered out, we haven't hammered that ability out of them yet. They're very psychically open. So also be paying attention to what your kids are saying to you, right? Keep an open ear. What are they saying to you? How are they feeling? And what are they picking up on, right? And it's important to nurture and validate, but also help them through recognizing what's theirs and what's not theirs. Okay, so anyway. Okay, my friends, I need to run. I will be back tomorrow at noon Mountain Standard Time to finish the last 4 signs. And then we can do a free flow after that. We can look at some charts if you'd like. We can look at cards if you want. I'm open to doing live astrology readings if you'd want. Also, keep in mind, if you use the code Eclipse20, Eclipse in all caps, 20, and book through my website, you can get 20% off until the end of the month for a reading. You could schedule it whenever, just you got to book before the end of the month if you want that 20% off. Okay, love you guys. Have a good day. I'll see you later. Mwah. Peace.